draws, just 3 losses, 65 points.
This team has been running circles around other team in the league with 4 league trophies, but this is not good for the league overall, and here is why.
Mamelodi
Sundowns have become the dominant force in South African football in recent years, winning the league title 5 times in the last 7 seasons. They are also the current holders of the Nedbank Cup and the MTN 8 Cup. The South African football landscape has changed significantly since the turn of the millennium, with the Premier Soccer League, PSL, becoming one of the most competitive and successful leagues in Africa. The PSL has also produced a number of world-class players, including Steven Pienaar, Aaron Mokoena, and Benny McCarthy. Mamelodi Sundowns have been the dominant force in South African football in recent years. They have won the league title 5 times in the last 7 seasons, and they are also the current holders of the Nedbank Cup and the MTN 8 Cup. This is a remarkable achievement, and it is a testament to the club's strong management and its talented squad. Sundowns' success is due to a number of factors. Firstly, they have a very stable club structure with the same owner, Patrice Motsepe, in place for over 20 years. This has allowed the club to develop a long-term vision and strategy. Secondly, Sundowns have invested heavily in their academy and infrastructure. This has allowed them to produce a number of talented young players who have gone on to become key members of the first team. Thirdly, Sundowns have appointed a number of high-quality coaches in recent years. Pitso Mosimane, who led the club to their first CAF Champions League title in 2016, is arguably the most successful coach in South African history. He was succeeded by Rulani Mokoena, who has continued to build on Mosimane's legacy. Finally, Sundowns have a very talented squad, with a good mix of experience and youth. Some of the key players in the squad include Peter Shalulile, Themba Zwane, Andile Yali, and Dennis Onyango. Sundowns' success has had a positive impact on South African football as a whole. The club has shown that it is possible for South African teams to compete at the highest level in Africa. Sundowns have also inspired other South African clubs to invest in their academies and infrastructure. I am excited to see what the future holds for Mamelodi Sundowns. The club is in a very strong position, and it has all the ingredients to continue its success in the years to come. Mamelodi Sundowns' dominance of South African football is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, it is great to see a South African team competing at the highest level in Africa and winning trophies. On the other hand, Sundowns' financial power and success are making it difficult for other South African teams to compete, which is hurting the overall competitiveness of the league. One way in which Sundowns is ruining South African football is by hoarding all the best players. Sundowns has the deepest squad in the league, and they are able to pay the highest salaries. This means that other teams are struggling to compete for the best players. For example, in 2023, Sundowns signed Peter Shalulile, the league's top scorer in the previous season, from Highlands Park. This left Highlands Park without their best player, and they were eventually relegated. Another way in which Sundowns is ruining South African football is by making the league less competitive. Sundowns has won the league title 5 times in the last 7 seasons, and they are the clear favourites to win it again this season. This makes the league less interesting to watch for fans, and it also makes it less attractive to sponsors. Sundowns' dominance is also having a negative impact on the South African national team. Sundowns has so many good players that some of them are not getting enough game time. This is hurting their development, and it is also making it difficult for the national team to select its best team. There are a number of things that can be done to address the issue of Sundowns' dominance. One option is to introduce financial fair play regulations to the Premier Soccer League. This would limit the amount of money that teams can spend on players and wages. Another option is to introduce a salary cap. This would ensure that all teams have a chance to compete for the best players. It is important to find a way to balance Sundowns' success with the overall competitiveness of the league. Sundowns is a great asset to South African football, but their dominance is making it difficult for other teams to compete. This is not good for the long-term health of the league or the national team. Here are some ways that other teams in the South African Premier Soccer League can improve and challenge Mamelodi Sundowns, invest in their academies and infrastructure. This is the long-term solution to producing more talented players and closing the gap with Sundowns. Other teams need to follow Sundowns' lead and invest in their academies and facilities. This will help them to produce more world-class players who will be able to compete with Sundowns' best players. Be more strategic in their recruitment. Other teams need to be more careful about which players they sign. They need to focus on signing players who are a good fit for their team and who will help them to achieve their goals. They should also avoid signing players who are simply on the decline or who are not committed to the club. Be more innovative in their tactics and coaching. Sundowns are always looking for new ways to improve, and they are not afraid to try new things. Other teams need to do the same. They need to be more innovative in their tactics and coaching. This will help them to stay ahead of the competition and challenge Sundowns for the title. Here are some ways that the league can reduce the effect of Sundowns' dominance and encourage other teams to challenge. Introduce financial fair play regulations. This would limit the amount of money that teams can spend on players and wages. This would level the playing field and make it easier for other teams to compete with Sundowns. Introduce a salary cap. This would ensure that all teams have a chance to compete for the best players. It would also prevent Sundowns from simply buying out the best players from other teams. Distribute revenue more evenly. Currently, Sundowns receives a larger share of the league's revenue than other teams. This gives them an unfair advantage and makes it difficult for other teams to compete. The league should distribute revenue more evenly so that all teams have a chance to succeed. Make the league more attractive to sponsors and investors. The league needs to do more to promote itself and make it more attractive to sponsors and investors. This would bring more money into the league, which would help other teams to improve. It is important to note that there is no easy solution to the problem of Sundowns' dominance. However, by taking the steps outlined above, other teams in the league can help to level the playing field and make the league more competitive. We hope you enjoyed watching our brief video, and if you did, please like the video and watch more videos on our channel by clicking the top right corner of the screen. This goes a long way in helping our channel improve. Thank you, and see you in the next one. Goodbye.